Today, we're talking about the dark side of empathy and how being too understanding can actually be harmful. Make sure you don't skip our bonus tip at the end of the video. This vital piece of advice will be key in managing your empathy wisely, ensuring it benefits rather than harms you. Stay tuned as we discuss how to maintain empathy in a healthy, balanced way. 1. Emotional burnout. Emotional burnout is a state of physical, emotional, and mental exhaustion caused by prolonged stress. It manifests in symptoms like fatigue, irritability, decreased motivation, and a sense of detachment or cynicism. While empathy is generally viewed as a positive trait, when it's excessive, it can become a fast track to burnout. This is especially true for individuals who constantly absorb the emotional turmoil of others, leading to overwhelming stress and exhaustion. Consider the case of healthcare professionals, often cited in studies, who experience high levels of empathy daily. Their continuous exposure to patients' suffering can lead to what is known as compassion fatigue, a specific form of emotional burnout. This isn't limited to medical personnel. Anyone who frequently deals with emotional labor can find themselves in a similar predicament. To prevent this, it's crucial to recognize the early signs of burnout. These can include feeling drained after interactions, dreading situations that require emotional engagement, or noticing a persistent sense of fatigue that doesn't improve with rest. By acknowledging these signals early, individuals can take proactive steps to mitigate burnout. Strategies to combat burnout include setting emotional boundaries, practicing self-care routines, and seeking support when needed. It's about understanding your emotional limits and not exceeding them. Creating a balance between empathy for others and self-preservation is key to maintaining emotional health and avoiding the pitfalls of burnout. 2. Impaired decision-making. Over-identification with others' emotions can significantly impair decision-making. When empathy turns into an echo chamber of someone else's feelings, it clouds judgment, leading to decisions that might not be in one's best interest or that of the broader situation. This over-empathy can cause individuals to lose sight of the bigger picture, making choices based on immediate emotional reactions rather than rational consideration. Consider a manager who consistently overlooks an underperforming employee's mistakes simply because they deeply empathize with the employee's personal struggles. While kindness is commendable, this scenario can lead to a decline in team performance and morale, demonstrating how excessive empathy can result in suboptimal decisions. To maintain objectivity while being empathetic, it's essential to establish emotional boundaries. Recognizing that understanding someone's feelings doesn't necessitate taking on those emotions as your own is crucial. Techniques like reflective listening can help. By focusing on the other person's message rather than immersing oneself in their emotions, one can offer support without losing objectivity. Additionally, taking a step back to assess situations from multiple perspectives can prevent empathy from overshadowing critical thinking. Developing a habit of checking in with oneself to differentiate between one's own emotions and those absorbed from others can also aid in keeping empathy balanced and decision-making clear. 3. Relationship imbalances. Too much empathy in relationships can lead to a dynamic where one person is always the giver, constantly attuned to the other's needs and emotions, often at the expense of their own well-being. This imbalance can create a cycle where the empathetic individual becomes drained, and the relationship feels one-sided, lacking the mutual support that characterizes healthy relationships. In such relationships, the empathetic person may find themselves always on the receiving end of their partner's problems, acting as an emotional buffer or caretaker, rather than an equal partner. Over time, this can lead to resentment, a sense of being undervalued, and emotional exhaustion. Establishing boundaries is crucial to prevent these imbalances. This means learning to say no, recognizing that you don't have to fix everything for your partner, and understanding that it's okay to prioritize your own emotions and well-being. It's about communicating your needs clearly and allowing space for your own emotions within the relationship. Practicing self-awareness is also key. Being mindful of when you're overextending yourself emotionally can help you identify when to step back and reassess your boundaries. It's important to remember that offering empathy doesn't mean you have to solve every problem or bear every burden. A balanced relationship allows both partners to share, support, and uplift each other without one person's needs overshadowing the others. I hope this video is resonating with you. If it is, could you take a moment to support us? Hitting like, dropping a comment, or subscribing makes a big impact. It's more than just numbers for us. It's about building a community, so thank you for being here. 4. Loss of self. When you consistently put others' emotions ahead of your own, you risk losing touch with your own needs, desires, and sense of self. This constant focus on others can blur the lines of your identity, leading to a situation where your own feelings and aspirations take a backseat, and you define yourself through the lens of others' experiences and needs. To counter this, cultivating self-awareness is crucial. This involves taking time to connect with your own feelings and recognizing your needs and boundaries. Regular self-reflection can help you understand what truly matters to you and identify when you're compromising too much of yourself in the service of others. Self-care is another essential aspect. It's not selfish, it's necessary. Engaging in activities that you love and that replenish your energy can help maintain a strong sense of self. Whether it's pursuing a hobby, practicing mindfulness, or simply allowing yourself moments of quiet and relaxation, these practices can help you stay grounded in who you are. Being empathetic doesn't mean you have to lose yourself in others. It's about finding a balance where you can be supportive and understanding while also honoring your own emotions and identity. By nurturing your self-awareness and committing to self-care, you can ensure that your empathy enriches your relationships without eroding your sense of self. 5. Empathy fatigue. Empathy fatigue occurs when continuous emotional engagement, particularly in the context of caring for or empathizing with others, leads to a diminished capacity to empathize. Unlike emotional burnout, which affects overall energy and motivation, empathy fatigue specifically targets one's ability to feel and express empathy. It's like a well of compassion running dry, not because one doesn't care, but because one has cared too much without replenishment. To combat empathy fatigue, it's vital to recognize its signs, feeling numb to others' emotions, or indifferent to situations that would typically elicit a compassionate response. Acknowledging this isn't a sign of failure, but a signal to take care of oneself is the first step in rejuvenation. Incorporating regular breaks into daily routines, especially in professions or roles that demand high emotional output, is crucial. These breaks can be as simple as a few minutes of solitude, stepping outside for fresh air, or engaging in a brief activity that shifts your focus. Practicing mindfulness and grounding techniques can also help recalibrate your emotional center. Activities like deep breathing, meditation, or yoga can foster a sense of inner calm and help replenish your emotional reserves. Protecting yourself from empathy fatigue isn't just about avoiding negative feelings. It's about actively engaging in practices that nourish your emotional well-being. This proactive approach ensures that your capacity for empathy is sustainable, allowing you to care for others without losing yourself in the process. 6. The importance of selective empathy. Being selective with empathy isn't about caring less. It's about caring smartly to ensure your mental health and well-being don't suffer. Just as a financial advisor recommends diversifying investments to reduce risk, diversifying how and where you invest your emotional energy can prevent empathy fatigue and emotional burnout. This strategic approach allows you to maintain your capacity for compassion without becoming overwhelmed. To practice selective empathy, start by recognizing that not every battle needs your emotional investment. Identify situations and relationships where your empathy will have the most positive impact, both for others and yourself. This discernment doesn't mean you become indifferent, but rather that you choose engagements that align with your emotional capacity and values. Setting clear emotional boundaries is another critical strategy. Understand your limits and communicate them assertively. If a particular situation is too draining, or if someone's demands on your empathy are too high, it's okay to step back. This isn't selfishness, it's self-preservation. Finally, cultivate self-awareness. Regularly check in with yourself to assess your emotional state. If you feel drained or notice signs of empathy fatigue, it's a signal to reassess where your emotional energy is going and make necessary adjustments. By being selective with your empathy, you can ensure that your compassion is sustainable, allowing you to support others effectively while also taking care of yourself. For our bonus tip, we encourage you to utilize professional support. Seeking guidance to manage the impacts of excessive empathy is a proactive step toward maintaining your emotional health. Therapists, counselors, and support groups are equipped with the tools and understanding to help you navigate the complexities of your emotions, ensuring that your empathy remains a strength and not a source of distress. Engaging with a professional can provide you with strategies to balance your empathy, prevent burnout, and maintain healthy relationships. These experts offer a neutral perspective, which can be invaluable in understanding your emotional patterns and triggers. They can help you develop skills to set boundaries, recognize early signs of empathy fatigue, and implement self-care practices tailored to your needs. Seeking help is a sign of strength and self-awareness, not a weakness. It demonstrates a commitment to your well-being and a desire to sustain your ability to empathize without compromising your mental health. Support groups also offer the added benefit of connecting with others who may be experiencing similar challenges, providing a sense of community and shared understanding. In a world that often demands so much of our emotional selves, professional support can be a crucial resource in ensuring that you remain balanced and healthy. By valuing and seeking this support, you affirm the importance of your emotional well-being and take an essential step in nurturing your capacity for empathy in a sustainable way. Next, let's talk about the problems only highly sensitive people understand, or dive into the power of saying no and setting healthy boundaries. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe for more.